Hello, welcome to my site. Thanks for visiting us. My name is Joel Z. Williams, the Director of Products for Peaceful Operations. People in my neighborhood call me the Poor People's Advocate. Today what I want to talk about is I get a lot of questions in my comments section, and after a review of them I noticed that there's 3 questions that keep cropping up over and over. Should I consult an attorney about taking up my bedbug claim? Do bedbugs transmit disease? Can I get sick from a bedbug bite? And the third one is can I realistically expect to get rid of bedbugs without hiring a professional? Alright, so let's tackle the first one. I think what a lot of people don't understand is that the legal profession provides remedies for tenants to try to get back money if they have sustained damages. And damages is defined by missing work, loss of consortium with your mate, your inability to have a full experience with your mate. Also things like the medical costs that you might incur when you go to see your doctor. So there's a lot of things that the court will consider to offer a remedy to your case. Now, a lot of people who are seeking to sue their landlord don't think about what type of evidence they're going to have to present to convince a court that, first of all, there has been a breach of law and that you are entitled to some recompense. So the reason why I recommend people go to talk to an attorney is because there's not a lot of things that can actually make your case successful if you haven't incurred damages. Okay, disclaimer, I am not your attorney and I don't want you to take any of this the stuff that I'm telling you as specific legal advice for your case. I want you to look at it as an educational video to try to get you a broader perspective of whether or not you actually have a claim. Alright, that said, there's something that you should know about the legal profession as it relates to landlord-tenant law. Most people don't realize that when you go into small claims court, you're not allowed to be represented by an attorney. That's the idea of small claims court. It's so that the small layperson can bring a claim for generally less than $1,500 and get some measure of recompense. So if your damages, if you've missed, maybe you got fired from a job, maybe you were not able to perform in school and you got academically dismissed from school, your damages, what you have actually suffered, may be in excess of what the court can provide a remedy for. So you have to know whether or not your case is good for small claims court, usually small issues, contract, breach of contract, things like that, or whether you need to step up to the next level. Now, if you are experiencing a situation where you have a bad bedbug infestation that's affecting your entire family, and you've missed work, you've had to go see a doctor, they put you on medication, you're seeing a psychologist, then your small claims court is probably not the appropriate venue for you. And in those cases, I would advise that you go seek out an attorney. An attorney, generally in the landlord-tenant field of practice, will generally offer a free 15-30-minute consultation, and they'll look over the facts of your case and quickly determine whether or not you have a loser or a winner. And there's another thing. There's a lot of lawyers out there that will accept cases that they can see are going to be very favorable to you, that the chances are that you're going to prevail. They will accept those cases on a contingency fee basis, meaning you will not have to pay the attorney until or if you are successful in your case. So I would advise you, that some attorneys may charge $15, $20 for a 30-minute consultation, but that's money well spent when you're considering that your case might be more complicated than you know how to prosecute. Also, I think something that a lot of lay people don't understand is they watch Judge Judy or Judge Mathis and they think that they know enough about the law that they can walk in with very little education and prevail on their claim just by showing some receipts. I think what I'd like you to think about is the legal profession is a community. A lot of people don't realize this, but lawyers, after they graduate law school and they pass the bar, they are still required in America at least, to take what is known as continuing legal education. This is CLE. 15 hours of classroom training in addition to practicing their regular law. And so what happens is a lot of these lawyers that handle landlord-tenant disputes will have a good relationship with each other and the judges. Now keep in mind, depending on how large your city is, there's usually 5 or 6 judges that handle landlord-tenant disputes in your county, in your area. And so these judges are constantly going to be dealing with the same lawyers. They're going to be seeing them on evictions. They're going to be seeing them on cases where people are arguing about easements, parking. That guy parked in my space. He's not allowed to be there. They're going to be dealing with issues of tenants trying to get their deposit, their rental deposit back. So they deal with all these types of matters all the time. And then generally we'll see the same lawyers representing the landlord. And so you walking into court, you're a complete stranger. And the reason I mentioned that CLE classes is because typically these classes are offered twice a year. And so if you are in the landlord-tenant profession, if that's what you do, then you're probably going to go to the class and you're going to see all your peers and the judges. A lot of times they're going to be there taking those same courses. So the reason I'm telling you that is there's an old adage in the legal profession. They say it's a good a good attorney that knows the law, but it's a great attorney that knows the judge. And of course that's not how it should be. Justice should be blind, and every judge should treat every claimant separately, not have these personal entanglements. But the best analogy that I can give you, if you've ever had to coach or referee a children's team, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, whether it's t-ball, invariably you're going to be confronted with some kids who are just inherently skilled, have good talent, good size and speed, and then you're going to have kids who try hard but simply don't have the physical skills or simply have not developed enough. And as a general rule, as humans, we tend to give the benefit of the doubt to the people who are not quite as good. And I want you to know that there's 2 types of judges in landlord-tenant dispute when it comes to bedbugs. There are the judges who are favorable to claimants who are bringing their own claim. These are, in Latin, they are called pro se. That means for self. This is a person who's not represented by an attorney, who's handling their own case. So we call them pro se plaintiffs. There are judges who are sympathetic to pro se plaintiffs. They'll give you a break. You may not know that your pleadings need to be in 12-point font, New Times Roman. You may not know the appropriate procedure to introduce evidence. And some judges will give you the benefit of the doubt because they know that you are pitted up against pros that go in there and do that every day. Now the other set of judges feel as though that the bedbug thing is a made-up, it's fake news. In other words, these people are complaining, trying to get money out of landlords. And many of them will see, they say, well, if your case had merit, you wouldn't be here unrepresented because you would have found an attorney to take your case on. And so I want you to be aware that it's a crapshoot. You don't know which type of judge you're going to get. And it's very important to know that when you go to your case, when you bring up your case. So for that reason, when people ask me, should I get a lawyer, I would, at the very minimum, tell you, go see one and present the facts of your case. Bring your receipts, bring your eviction notices, everything you have. Let them take a professional view of your case and make a decision. Okay. Now the second component, the second question I get asked a lot is, can I get sick from bedbugs? Can the bedbug give me a disease? And the short answer is no. At this time, there has not been a confirmed transmission of human pathogen from insect to human. There was a case in Montreal a few years back where a woman had a severe bedbug infestation and she jumped out of her window. She committed suicide. And I think it was the 5th or 6th floor. And there was a huge investigation that came out of that when they found out that she had done that, and the neighbors and I think her lover had said that she did it because of the bed bugs. That she was just so overwhelmed with the infestation that she decided to take her own life. The fact of the matter is the investigation revealed that she had, during the autopsy, found out that she had hepatitis C. And they found that many of the bugs that were in her apartment also contained that pathogen. Later it was discovered she was also an intravenous drug user, and the use of the transmission of Hep C is very common in people who share needles, dirty needles. So it was, I guess you could say it was not proven, but the medical establishment determined that it was more likely that her Hep C had been transmitted through the use of dirty needles. However, as a caveat, I will say that bedbugs are known to be able to harbor, or I should say, carry at least 23 human pathogens. But to this date, as far as we know, there has not been a documented case of transmission from insect to human. Okay, so that's the third one, or the second one. The third part I want to talk about is, can I actually end the bedbug infestation in my house using your methods? In other words, should I hire a pro, or can I do this on my own? And to be honest with you, at this time, the toxins that the professionals are spraying in the house are extremely effective. They'll kill any crawling insect, even pets, if you're not careful. So I would, at this time, and they're super effective over the long haul. They persist in the carpet and in the wood of your house, and so they'll keep on killing for a while. So at this time, I would say, if you have the means, I would recommend that you hire a professional. That way you can get a warranty. If the infestation does reoccur, you can recall them and they'll come out and do that. All right. So now that you know that, I will say, however, there have been multiple, and at this time, I think the last count, we were up to 125 on this, using my method, the Williams method. I can confirm that there have been 125 people who have effectively removed bed bugs from their premises using my methods. So that's 125 documented cases. There's probably 3 times that many where people haven't gotten back to me on that. All right. So the reason I told you the reason I bring this up is I want you to, at the bare minimum, if you're going to try to self-help your way out of it, at the bare minimum, I want you to get a desiccant powder. I like this brand. This is C-Mexic desiccant powder. Tighten up on that for a little bit. This is sold for, it costs about $15 inside the United States. You can get it from Amazon, will deliver it. I think Bedbugs supply. It's very, very effective, and it has a very low toxicity to mammals. I won't go into great detail about why that is, but it doesn't kill using a toxin. It basically dries the bug out, and they die very quickly. There's a study in Kentucky where I think it killed 98% of bed bugs that had come in contact with it. It will remain viable as a killer of bed bugs for up to 10 years if it's left undisturbed. So it's a very effective way. This strategy is one among 3 in the Williams method, but I recommend, if you have the money, go ahead and get this spring applicator as well. This is I'll show you here, but this allows you to put the powder in very tight spaces, and that's very important because bed bugs can harborage anywhere a credit card can stick. So if you can get a credit card in there, in a crack or crevice, your furniture, your bed, a picture hanging on the wall, you can imagine that a bed bug can fit in there. And so this is why this is very critical to the application of the powder. I think this costs almost as much as the powder. I think it's 15 bucks. So if you, at the bare minimum, if you cannot do anything else, I recommend that you get this combination and apply it immediately. Now, be sure to look at the rest of my method, which includes mattress encasement and other strategies. But at the bare minimum, I want you to get some of that desiccant powder and apply it to places where you're going to sit or lay for long periods of time. Now, the final thing I wanted to tell you is I have a website that accepts donations. And I don't charge any money for my consultations. I go out in the field and I consult with people and I teach them how to do the methods and I walk them through how to do it. But I don't charge a nickel for that. But the materials cost money. And as I said, the powder is about 15 bucks, the applicator is about another 15 bucks, the plastic that we use to wrap the mattresses costs money, and the duct tape to seal it. So I am seeking donations, and if you have had some success using my methods, I'd like for you to pay it forward so that we can buy more of the powder and more of the plastic and help more people. I have a blog called Joel Z. Williams at blogspot.com, and on that page there's a donation button through PayPal, and whatever you can give, $1, $2, $5, whatever, that money will go into the pool so that we can buy more of these products and help more people. And that's really all I had to say. I wanted to thank all of my viewers for liking and subscribing and getting the word out there. You can beat this. This is not a problem that you should dither on. You need to act immediately, and you need to get started. Okay, I think I said enough. Let me cut this short. My name, once again, I'm Joel Z. Williams, the Poor People's Advocate. You will recognize me by my white hat, but you will know me by my good deeds. Thank you.